weather just can't make up its mind what it's doing. We had thunder and lightning so bad, it was coming in through the roof, it was coming in through the ceiling here, down through the floor, right down into the caves downstairs. The thunder and lightning took out the internet, it took out the telephone lines, it blew up the surge protectors, it blew up the internet box, it blew up everything. But yesterday we had 36 degrees, so I don't know. So yeah, but today it's just overcast, so which is good. I can get some work done, but for show mortaring, you don't actually want super hot weather. You want it sort of like somewhere in between, because if it's super hot, the lime render dries too quick, and it'll crack and go off too quick. So yeah, so I'm gonna just crack on. Raking out between stones, you get a sharp object such as this, and you scrape between all the stones on the wall and remove all the old line render before sort of putting in new line render. Now this particular stone has got a large crack in it, and that large crack had been filled with mortar. Now these walls have been mortared over the top and plaster of Paris over the top since at least 1930. Now these walls, they haven't moved a lot since 1930, probably, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 mil since 1930. Prior to 1930, they'd moved a good 8 to 10 centimetres. So when we bought the house, it had been abandoned for nigh on 30, 35 years. But this crack here and a metal plate just above my head in the wall suggest around about 1930 the house had been left neglected or maybe derelict for quite a bit of time for it to really shift. So in the attic there are some ends of rotten beams and stuff like that, and the A-frame's stretched and a bit snapped. So prior to 1930, I think the house had also been left derelict and abandoned. So maybe after the First World War, there's a change in family name just after the First World War. So could be something to do with that. Don't know. But I think this house has been abandoned at least once, maybe even 3 times during its life. So yeah, interesting stuff, eh? on the other side of the wall, I used a scraper to scrape out between all the rocks. But on this side of the wall, all the rocks are really tight together. They've been compressed together by the weight of the wall. Now, that is like a big sandwich that someone has stood on. And that is because basically in the loft, a window was missing. Now, lime mortar has got two ingredients, the lime and sand. Now, all the lime has been washed out by a missing window, and now I can use a brush just to brush out all the render or mortar, and it has no strength to it whatsoever. And I can sort of get some of these rocks, and say this one here, this one's very loose, and I can actually pull this one straight out. There you go. There you go. It's really loose, and reveal what's behind it. So yeah, not good, eh? Poke it back in for now, so I don't lose where it goes. Now, some of these stones have been pushed together so hard. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, here we go. This one here has got a crack clean through it. There's another one here. Crack clean through it. Another one here. Crack clean through it. And basically, the wall is cracking, basically, because all the bricks have been, or boulders have been pushed together. Now up here, the rock basically just shattered under the weight of this stone here, pressing down on it. It just crumbled under the weight. And now it's revealed quite a large hole. And I can stick my arm in. Oh, I can stick it in quite a way. Well, past my elbow. So yeah, not good. Now, I've been chatting with Lisa over at Chateau de Montmagny. She's absolutely amazing. She's been an absolute star. So yeah, and what I've got to do is I've got to get a load of rubble and sand and make up a mortar mix, and we're going to fill that hole up. And there's a lot of stones missing, and there's a cavity behind here, and a lot of the holes all interlocked together. So yeah, we're going to strengthen up this wall. And there used to be a series of cracks which all converged together. So yeah, there's quite a problem with this wall, really. Yeah, there's that loose stone there. There's a stone there. Oh, there's that one there. I think's really loose, and it's got the crack below it as well. So yeah, we got a problem. Oh, there's this one here. There. Yeah, that one there. That one's really loose and falling out. So yeah, we got quite a problem there. And when I get round to raking all that out up there, I think we're going to have even more of a problem. I was actually worried about this centre section collapsing, but now I've raked it out, you can clearly see that this centre section is an infill, and it wasn't actually original. And there is a dressed stone here, so this centre section is just someone infilling, say a recess, if you like. So there would have been, say, a foot deep recess here down into the window. So yeah, there would have been sort of like a little step in to the window. So I'm not worried about it at all now. So I could actually take all of that load of stone out and we could have a sort of like a little recess in towards the window.
So I kind of get the feeling that the other half doesn't listen to me very much. I asked him if he would kindly take the radiator off the wall so I could paint in here. As you can see behind me, there is no plaster on any of the walls. He's removed the lot. Obviously needed doing. However, he just doesn't listen, does he? What the heck is that? I think we need words with him. Mark, I think we need a few words.
Virtually every one of these stones here is loose. And behind is a cavity where all the sand has basically been washed out by a leaking skylight in the loft. So the cavity is basically about 18 inches deep. Now up here is where the bees were nesting in the ceiling. Now these rafters now are actually loose. When someone walks in the loft, they actually move up and down a couple of millimetres. Obviously that's not particularly good. Now that there is the top stone that I found is loose. So what I'm going to do, I have a plan. I'm not sure it's the best plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to take the stones out there, say that row of stones, and I'm going to mortar them in. And I'm then going to take the row of stones out above them a couple of days later once it's dried, and I'm going to poke a load of rubble behind and a load of sand behind, and then once that's sort of settled, I'm going to mortar those stones in and wait for them to dry, move up a row, and so on until, I'm all the way at the top. And obviously, I've not raked that bit out yet, but I'm sure I'm going to find a similar disaster because, this is basically nearly 2 metres wide. And, it's all due to a leaking skylight in the loft, which hopefully in a week or so's time, once the weather's calmed down and done its thing, because, we had absolutely disastrous thunder and lightning last night again. And this leak is basically going all the way down to the floor. So yeah, that's my current problem.
When we first started looking at buying houses,
we looked at 60 odd houses, didn't we, originally?
Yeah.
And
easy.
This was probably the best condition by a long way of all the houses we looked at, wasn't it? I mean, some of them had like roofs missing and walls tumbling down, didn't they?
Yeah.
So.
But when you first look at a house, you've got your rose tinted glasses on if you fall in love with it.
Yeah.
And then when you go back, your glasses come off a little bit and you can see, that needs doing and this needs doing. And like you say, this was still the best by far that, for us.
Yeah.
And it's only really when you start taking, the house back to its basics, taking that plaster off, that you can actually really see what needs doing. And we were quite happy to start with to just paint everywhere.
I don't think many house sort of like sellers would let you go into their house and say, "Oh, would it be all right if I could just take all the plaster off your house?"
You're not allowed to do that, really.
No, they wouldn't let you do that, really. No. Can I just take all your wallpaper off and chisel your plaster off? No.
So,
no.
Yeah,
even a surveyor, I don't think, would be able to walk into this house and say, what's behind all the plaster in this wall, because I mean this room actually
we were just going to paint. We were just going to paint it, weren't we?
Yeah.
And like I say, if we had done that, we wouldn't have found out half the stuff that needs doing.
Yeah.
And for me as well, it's the deterioration of things just like lime mortar that are in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of houses throughout France and the UK, and how over time it starts deteriorating, and it does need redoing every now and again.
Yeah.
And luckily we found that out at no cost to ourselves.
No. And to repair this room isn't actually financially going to cost us a lot of money.
No, it's going to cost practically nothing.
No.
It's just time and effort, isn't it?
Yeah. So
and
it's not an overall disaster. It's just a lot of time. So
and considering we were going to do, like I say, just paint the house, I think I'm more inclined now to knock all the plaster off every room
to discover what's wrong, really.
Well, and to redo the plaster. The lime mortar, because, like I say, it's been here.
It's going to do the house such a massive, massive favour.
Yeah, of course it is. And the house will be standing here way after we've gone.
I mean, when we moved in and we were going to put paint and plaster on the rooms, it would have outlived us.
Yeah.
It would have done us till retirement. But what we're doing to the house now is probably going to give it 150 years. So
yeah, we're going to give back to the old girl, aren't we? We're going to make it brilliant again.
Yeah.
How it should be treated.
Yeah. So yeah. So
So that's the jobs for the week, isn't it? Really, carry on raking out in here.
Yeah, lime mortar in next week, and then the week after that, the roof.
Yeah, we need a few. Yes. I'm looking forward to it, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's hopefully if the weather calms down a bit. I'm not getting anywhere near the roof if the thunder and lightning and the bad weather continues.
You won't get near the roof even if it's sunny, will you?
Well, no, really. Yeah. Because it was awful weather again.
We've had a couple of really good storms, haven't we? Absolutely torrential downpours, lightning and thunder just outside.
Yeah, so they were hitting the lake again. The night before last.
Yeah. So I need to get up there really and get the roof secure and watertight.
Yeah. So big plans still.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and as usual, everyone, give us a bit of the old like and subscribe.
He likes that.
I love a bit of that. And
and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Au revoir.
Hey. That woman.